did not know that until recently when I just mentioned it to them. Like, how can this be that you believe in the same in Jesus? How is this possible? We don't understand. It's confusing for people because we thought that it was clear, right? The Christians believe in Jesus, Jesus being the Son of God, God is there, and you believe in Allah and Muhammad. That's it, right? But then all the prophets before, they totally ignore. We believe in all the prophets before. Now, next one, Mariam. Misconception number 8. Again, any questions, anything? Any questions with regards to the misconceptions? Misconception number 8. Okay. I have to be a bit faster. Okay. In misconception number 7, we go faster through it because indeed the Q&A session is more important, but I would like you still to interrupt me if there's something. Now, Islam is intolerant and violent. Now, this is not misconception number 7. Actually, misconception number 1 is very close to that one. Islam is intolerant and violent. Now, we have heard phrases like kill the infidel, kill the unbelievers, and God knows what else is said. It says in the Quran, God does not forbid you with regards to those who fight you not for religion, nor drive you away out of your homes from dealing kindly and justly with them. For God loves those who are just. Be just. That's what it's all about. If you look at our history again, if you look at the opening, we call it opening, the conquest of Jerusalem, for example. If you look at Omar, who was one of the caliphs of the Muslims in the year 634 to 644, when he went to Jerusalem, he gave the Jews and the Christians in the city the same rights as people of the book that Allah has given them. So they had the right to worship in their synagogues and in their churches and to stay there. We have nowhere, and I dare anybody to come and give me authentic passages from history, from the history books, to show me where has there been ever a massacre in the Muslim world towards Christians and Jews. I want to see that. But in the contrary, I can show you enough massacres with regards to the Jews in Europe, with regards to the Muslims in many other parts of the world. Until nowadays, open the news, Central African Republic. Until nowadays. Now you can come and tell me, well, we read also a lot of news. We see a lot of what's happening in the Muslim world. Then the Copts in Egypt, we see that they are also persecuted. They might be persecuted. Has there been a massacre? Now, Islam is intolerant and violent. I think we can clearly say this is absolutely not the case, especially if we look at our history. Not at all. Until nowadays, in all Muslim countries, there are Christians and Jews living, and the Jews who have left because of Israel. They haven't left because they didn't want to be there, and of course there has been discrimination against them. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Because of emotions. No doubt about it. But that's wrong. So we criticize that as well. So if somebody in Egypt has a problem against a Jew or a Christian because they are Jews or Christians, then this is something that we criticize as Muslims. It should not be. Now, 6 misconception, of course. Okay, no, there's, go on, next one. Next, misconception number 6. Okay, the holy war, jihad. Okay, a very important point, jihad, jihad, jihad. Now, by the way, the term holy war is not a Muslim terminology. The term holy war exists in any Christian language. It exists in Greek, it exists in Arabic, it exists in German, it exists in English, it exists in French. Simply because that was the original terminology. That's what was used during the Crusades. The Crusaders used the term holy war and not the Muslims. Never. Never. Jihad does not mean holy war. Jihad has a lot of definitions. And one of them is a jihad which is a jihad against somebody who invades your country. This is fighting against somebody who invades your country. That's a jihad. But you know what? I had a jihad of 3 years. Before I accepted Islam, it took me 3 years from my parents' place, and I had to lock my door because I was praying and I didn't want my mother to find out. I was 18, 19 years old, and I had to lock my door, okay? And because I was praying, I was not doing anything else. I had no girl upstairs or something. I was on my own, and you know what? My parents said later, I would have preferred you to have a girl up there than doing what you're doing. Imagine how mentality is. Imagine this mentality. My mother even said, I would have liked you to be rather a thief than being a Muslim. That's what she clearly said. Okay? So imagine how deep it is. Imagine how deep this hatred is. Okay? So that's one of the jihads. A jihad that I had for 3 years. Waking up in the middle of the night thinking, I cannot accept this thing because I'm Greek. It doesn't fit to being Greek and being Muslim. So for that reason, I cannot accept this. I was waking up in the middle of the night. I knew it was right. I knew it was good. I knew I was not doing something bad. But everything around me was saying that's bad. You know, everybody in Greece was saying that's bad. Everybody in the family was saying that's bad. So there must be something bad in it. You know. So anyway, it took me 3 years, and this is also part of jihad. Okay, and there is also jihad, yes, fighting the enemies who invade your country. Yes, that's a jihad. But you know what? You just call it jihad in Islam, in Arabic, but you know, here you might call it protective fight or whatever. If somebody invades England, won't you fight? We all fought in the 40s, right? We fought against Hitler, didn't we? That's a jihad, Islamically seen. Whoever invades your country, you have the right to protect your country, which is a logical thing. It's a human right, actually. So, misconception number 5. Now, that's a massive misconception. Of course, it's a big issue here. We're not going to go deep into this one because we're going to leave it for the Q&A session. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was a pedophile, right? Now, this is something, of course, very normal. Now, you know that in the 12th century, you've heard of the Byzantine Empire, right? The Byzantine Empire, the Byzantines, you know, Greek Orthodox, right? You know how many of them married girls younger than 12 years old? 4 to 5, as far as we know, to official sources, according to official sources. Unofficially, most probably many more. But we have official sources telling us that many of the emperors, during the time of the Byzantine Empire, Byzantine emperors married girls as young as 8, 9, and 10 years old. That was in the 12th century. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ married Aisha in the 7th century. Now, 300 to 400 years later, during the time of the Christian Orthodox Byzantine Empire, we can find Christian Orthodox emperors marrying young girls. And nobody said a word because it was normal. There was nothing wrong with that. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that time. If I nowadays go and marry a girl who is 8, 9, 10 years old from Sudan or Somalia, then I would say you have a problem. All right? Now, this is something that does not mean that we take it out because Islam does not have, there is no time stop. We don't say that that was just possible that time, you know, and it's not possible today. But there is a difference. Now, the way that Islam looks at that is that actually the girl has to be in the phase of her puberty. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ married Aisha when she was 6. But did he consummate the marriage with her? No. He consummated the marriage with her when she was 9. Why did he wait 3 years if he was a pedophile? Why did he wait 3 years then? She was not a kid anymore when she was 9? No, because then she had entered her puberty. Then she was considered, for Arab society, that time she was considered a woman who could be married, as many other girls were married, and there was nothing that we have authentic that can tell us that any of the enemies that time, and we know that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had a lot of enemies among the Arabs, among the Quraysh, the people who were ruling Saudi Arabia at that time, they had a problem with him. So why didn't they ever say something about that? Why didn't they say they had something here? Wow, wonderful, now we got him. Look at this pedophile, look what he did. He married Aisha, was 6 years old. None of the people from that time, no enemy, no Christian, nobody that time said anything about it. So now, in the 21st century, we come to judge people in the 7th. I think you got my point, right? Okay. Move on. Misconception number 4. Muslims are savages and barbaric during the war even. Okay? What does Islam say about war? Now, there are 10 rules that the Muslim army has to obey once they go to war. Listen carefully. Number 1, do not commit treachery. Do not deviate from the right path. Do not mutilate dead bodies. Do not kill children. Do not kill women. Do not kill aged men. Do not harm or burn trees. Do not destroy buildings. Do not destroy an enemy's flock unless you use it for your food. When you pass